What, you thought you could go to bed? No bed for you. No bed for me. West Virginia's still pulling in commitments at 8 o'clock at night. They'll probably go into midnight knowing Rich Rod and company. They're working hard. Commitments are rolling in, and they got a good one. Will Davis, an absolute monster at the nickel spot. Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host for the third or fourth time today. This is Locked On West Virginia, going to be brought to you by Game Time. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. I appreciate you guys, man, for sticking with me through all these videos today. It's been a heck of a day so far, and a lot of great commitments, man. And look, it's exciting. I think, this staff knows how to evaluate, especially in the secondary. I just broke down to you in the last show. Poyser went to Auburn. I know I've said this a bunch of times this week. Poyser from Jack State went to Auburn, where Rich Rod and staff was just at previously. Zach Alley was there just a year ago. Poyser went to Auburn. Davis went to Northwestern. Perry and the other one, let me get his name again really quick. Perry and Derek Carter, both from Jacksonville State to West Virginia. And that's not it. They've got a defensive lineman. They've got, obviously, Cam Vaughn. They know how to – my point is people are going to huff and puff about the level in which some of these guys play at. When Walter Payton was a Division II guy. Jerry Rice played at Mississippi Valley State. It don't matter. I wish people could get over that. Now, can you fill your entire team full of them? No, which is why we've got guys from Washington, Oklahoma, Tulane, different spots. Like they're evaluating talent at different levels and saying, hey, that's a Power 5 guy. Hey, that's a Power 5 guy. Hey, we can build this guy to a Power 5 guy. And look, when you turn on the tape, William Davis is as impressive of a commitment that they have made yet. It is. You look at what he's done, it's incredible. The numbers. I mean, just an insane stat line during his career at Virginia Union. It's insanity. First team All-American, first team All-CIAA. He's a grad transfer. He's been around the block. He's 6 feet, 198 pounds. He's a nickel/star safety, which is a guy that's going to play in the slot, obviously. If you're not familiar with what that looks like, it's a guy that plays in the slot. A lot of times they get different types of athletes that they have to play against and whatnot. But, man, on tape especially, this guy's an interception machine. I mean, and the thing is he gets, it's probably, I would say 60% upstairs, 40% athletic ability, something like that. He's a very smart player and can really read offenses. And look, some of the best offenses around are, at least in my opinion, operating at the Division II level right now, where Virginia Union is, North Carolina State, which is why you see a guy like the guy that's at Oklahoma right now, Arbuckle. He started out at Incarnate Word, right? So you start to look around the country and realize, okay, yeah, this is nice. This is big time. And this guy is big time. Let me tell you, let me show you the stat line that he has, man. So he was obviously first team all-conference nickel, 126 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, 12 interceptions, 3 interception returns for touchdown, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. what? What's happening right now? How does this guy produce these kind of numbers? That's an insane amount. I don't care what level you're at. If you're at Pee Wee, I don't care. Look, man, this guy is an absolute stud, and this staff continues to impress me where I wasn't impressed with the last. I'm just going to be honest. There's only one or two guys I was excited about that they went and got. One of them was Anthony Wilson for the way he came downhill and hit people. And the other was, I have to go back and look at my notes, but there was only like one or two guys. Oh, and one of the guys they didn't even get, which I did multiple videos on this, by the way. I mean, J.J. Roberts, the all Sun Belt safety from Marshall this past year, begged to come to West Virginia. Begged to come to West Virginia. He did. And instead, they wouldn't even offer him a walk-on here. He goes to get a scholarship at Marshall, transferring from Wake Forest, where he was good, and started there to that team that went to they went 10 games and went to the conference championship game. He was the starting safety. Neil Brown steps said, "No, we don't want him. We don't want this guy." He goes to Marshall and puts up one of the best safety stat lines in school history, behind one of the better defenses in school history. So I know I didn't trust their evaluations on that staff. This staff, I do. It's just what they do, man. It's what they do, especially when it comes to DB talent. And this guy here, William Davis, is going to be a star. He's a grad transfer. He's got 1 year left. He's coming to make an impact now. It's got to happen now. He's not coming to West Virginia to be a depth piece with 1 year left. This guy's been told, hey, you got to earn it, but you're going to make it, right? And he said, okay, I'll roll with that. He's rolling the dice, betting on himself. And he's coming to West Virginia to play ball, man. And with 126 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, 12 interceptions, 3 return for touchdown, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, you better get your pants on, because this kid's coming for your job. This kid right here can play. And when you turn, like I said, when you turn the tape on, he makes interceptions with his head. And what does that mean? Reading quarterback eyes, knowing quarterback tells, knowing the offense, knowing where receivers are supposed to be in a route concept. He does all this at an extremely high level. I promise you, it's why they went after him. Athletically, he's gifted enough to play Power 5. Is it his best feature? I would say no. I would say that his upstairs, what he does upstairs, is basically what I think makes him so special. And for everybody that keeps on talking about D2, D3, whatever, go tell Walter Payton, go tell Jerry Rice, like I said earlier, go tell Austin Eckler, go tell Tony Romo, go tell the million players that have made it out of D2 now at this point. Go tell Miles Austin, who played at Monmouth, one of the best receivers in Dallas Cowboys for a couple years there, that Monmouth, he didn't deserve a chance. It means nothing. Like, your eyeballs can tell you everything you need to know once you learn how to evaluate talent. And look, I trust my eyes. Am I a pro scout? No. Do I wish I could be? Yes. Do I keep track of how well I do? I do. And, I mean, everybody misses. But there are some guys that when you watch, you're like, okay, it's pretty obvious here. Like, there's something else going on. This is a guy that is self-made, basically. He walked on at Division II level, like he said on his profile, straight out of the hood. Walked on to the Division II level, turned himself into something, and is now flourishing and receiving the benefit of that as a Power 5 starter. You know, most likely going to be, or else he wouldn't be coming here. He'd be going to Marshall, or he'd be going to Georgia State. Like, he's not going to Marshall or Georgia State or Samford or anywhere. He's going to West Virginia because they told him he's got a chance to earn a starting spot. So I just want to point that out, you know. So up next on Locked On West Virginia, let's put my final spin on tonight's commits. Let's continue to try to break down some of this stuff. and I'll make a prediction. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by none other than FanDuel. From big upsets to game-winning drives, NFL playoffs are better with FanDuel because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets. That's guaranteed. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. The FanDuel app gives you everything you need for live bets, same-game parlays, and so much more. You have to visit the website and share betting lines around your team or league. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. We are back on this episode of Locked On West Virginia. Look, let's give William Davis a hand. Honestly, this is a great story. And for those asking, obviously I'm not allowed to engage, and I'm not supposed to engage with the chat. So, but he is from Virginia Union. The example I used was Monmouth, Miles Austin, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, played at Monmouth, and he was really good, right? But nobody knew that until he went to the league. My point is there are literally thousands of guys now, and every year, I mean, go tell Tyson Bagent from Shepherd, West Virginia, that he wasn't good enough. He had every Power 5 school in the country after him out of Shepherd. And what did he do? He went to the Chicago Bears and almost won the dang job and has played a lot there. It doesn't matter. Division II, Division III, doesn't matter. Cam Ward, Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator, from Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami and Oklahoma separate. They went separately after Washington State, I believe. But this happens every year. It does. The Western Kentucky kid from a couple years ago had the really funny name. He wasn't Western Kentucky before that. He was at Houston Baptist, right? And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I'm going to come at you in the comments if I see this. I'm not saying you can build your entire team off Division II players or even Group of 5 players. But if a staff knows how to evaluate correctly, there are Power 5 starters at several Division II schools, Division I schools, Group of 5 schools, and there are guys at Power 5 that shouldn't be at the Power 5, right? It goes both ways. It's all about how you develop and how you work. And that's just my opinion. So, I'm just being honest. I really love this kid. So, and look, like I said, I love the staff and how they evaluate. And Zach Alley and crew have proven time and time again now that they're able to do it. Until they show me different, like Neil Brown's staff did, I'm going to believe in him. That's how I did Neil Brown. I gave him his flowers before he technically earned them with me because of what they did at Troy. The staff did the same, but better at Jack State. So, let me get over here to my X account so I can pull this up. I want to say thanks to Dylan, Chaz, and Jerry, West enthusiasts, for continuing to update this list of transfer commits and all that. They also help me so the reason I'm able to respond to a lot of this so fast is because, they blow my phone completely to pieces, literally several times a day if I'm not paying attention, or if something happens, my phone will go. So I have these guys to thank for that. They do a good job keeping me focused on task whenever I might want to go eat or play a video game or just relax. No, they want to know about what's going on with this or that. But anyway, no, seriously, I appreciate those guys, man, and they help me out a lot. Okay, so let's update our list, obviously, with William Davis on there. That is now, I want to say 22, but I'll have to could be 23. I'll have to keep checking, but let's just count them out here. So we've got 1, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 now. And that's without Golden, I believe. So if Golden, that'll be 24 guys. 23 transfer signings in the over the course of what has it been? A week? Insanity. They've done a heck of a job, haven't they? We left off at Michael Coates, I believe, and I went on a Michael Coates spree because he's so good. Ethan Head, the Tulane kicker, has been accurate throughout his career. I think this is a kid that we can, especially because he's got time left, is going to have time to be developed. I don't know what they say. He's got a big leg. I haven't really been able to check up on that yet, but I trust what some of the stuff I read was good source material. So there's no doubt that he is going to be an impact, and we need a kicker. Obviously, we got Ollie Straw at punt, I think, for another year, so we're set there. But yeah, we needed the kicker. Let's see. This might not be in the same order as the one I had earlier either, but let's see. I talked about Pascuzzi. I talked about Cam Vaughn. Let's talk about Ashton Woods, 6'3", 215 pounds from North Carolina, transfer, who was a freshman there last year. He's in a similar spot as Robbie Martin. It's a kid that obviously spent a year at Power 4, that has had a year in a really good strength. Any Power 4 strength and conditioning program is going to be really good. So this is a Power 4 recruit, Power 4 player, a guy that it's not, it's not a group of 5. It's not Division 3, even though I don't think that's necessarily bad. This is somebody that was recruited to be a Power 4 guy and was developed as one and already has that 1 year under his belt. So this is somebody you can see come in and play pretty much these days. These guys are playing redshirt freshman, sophomore year pretty much. I mean, unless somebody's really far behind. Ashton Woods is a really interesting one. It'd be interesting to see what he looks like. On tape, man, he's obviously got it all, but I just haven't seen much else out of him since his high school tape. So let's see what he looks like coming up here, over the course of the next year and a half. Should be fun. Let's see. We talked about Chase Wilson. We talked about these other guys today. Obviously, Davion Walker. I went and watched more tape on Walker, the receiver that committed today, by the way, out of JUCO. And what's crazy about him is he's fast. He didn't have a lot of production, but it's obvious to me anyway. He's got some ability. There's a lot more he needs to develop there. I don't think this will be a starter day one. Maybe next year he comes into his own. He's got ability, though, especially when it comes to jump balls. I mean, go watch his tape. If you go to Davion Walker's page, I think it's Always Open is what it's called. It's at Sub-Zero, something like that. Or that might be William Davis's. I'm getting them confused. But, man, his tape's pretty good, especially for the jump balls. And he's got a little bit on his route tree, too. The only thing I've seen him do in his route tree so far is in-breaking routes. So maybe he's got those polished up, but maybe his out-breaking routes and some of his more vertical stuff isn't there yet. But, man, his in-breaking stuff and his jump ball skills are both really good. But he has room to improve, and Walker's a guy that out of Butler Community College, another one of these JUCOs that has a lot of upside, but we'll just have to see what it looks like here in a year or so. We didn't talk about Kimo Makaneole as much, but he is a freight train of a offensive lineman. Here's what I'm stuck on with him, guys, and tell me if you agree, because I think people accuse me of being all sunshine and rainbows, but I'm really not. I think people just remember that of me for whatever reason. But Kimo is obviously really talented. He went to play at LSU. So why did he not get on the field very often? I mean, he got snaps. He got in the game. But they switched him positions. And now West Virginia is going to switch him back to offensive line. It's a little confusing. And my question is obviously, why couldn't you get on the field in 3 years at LSU? Now, I get it. that's a really tough place to play at. And there's only 5 offensive linemen at LSU that can play, and only 2 tackles and only 2 guards and 1 center. So if you're one of those positions, it's really narrowed down to 2, right? It's not actually 5. It's unless you can play both, but that's somewhat rare sometimes. Although at West Virginia, they cross-trained everybody. So I think my biggest question with him is, why didn't he play at LSU? Why do they change in positions? And what does West Virginia see in him that makes them think they can make him, turn him into an impact player on the offensive line, considering that LSU didn't necessarily believe in him like that? Now, it's happened before. We've seen it where players have switched positions in the school. It's been the wrong choice. They've come back and been All-Americans. They've been, all this different stuff. But I want to see more out of that one. And it's it's an offensive line piece. We need to hit on it. So that's a big one for me that I'll be watching very closely. Although it says defensive line, I think he'll probably eventually be offensive lineman. That's just my opinion. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, let's put a bow on all of today. It's been a lot, and we will be right back, guys. There's still a couple of things to talk about. Plus, we still got William Reed on campus, I think. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode is going to be brought to you by Game Time. Attending the new 12-team college football playoff games is an incredible experience that brings fans together like never before. I remember the excitement of past playoff games. I can't wait to make the new memories with the updated format and extra teams involved. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Recently, I used the Game Time Picks to find tickets for an upcoming game, and it helped me take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Can you do with using Game Time? Download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply here, but if you create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGD for $20 off. You can download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. What time is it? It's game time. All right, segment 3, guys, and I got a little bit of Dr. P here. We'll take a sip of that. Okay, so where I want to go here, I'm going to do a commitment meter prediction here in this segment. So there's not a whole lot of guys that's known publicly. There are a few out there that are not known that I can't talk about yet. But there is one guy on campus right now that I mentioned in the last one too. Oh, before I forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're like 25 people away from 4,000. Guys, can we get me to 4,000 before this video is over? That would mean a lot to me. It's been a goal of mine to get to 4,000 for literally years since I started this. So it would mean quite a lot to me if you guys could help me do that. Although if you're already subscribed or all that, I understand. But share this, just copy and paste the link up top and paste it to like Facebook or X. If you're watching this on X, just repost the video you're watching here, or hit the repost button, and that's the best way you can help me. Other than that, William Perry, the Princeton offensive tackle, who has been at West Virginia all day. I've had time to really talk with him and get to know what he's looking for. He's got a tough decision to make because he wants to play in the NFL, but he also wants to be guaranteed starting spot, which is, he wants to work for it. Don't get me wrong. He's been very honest about that. But it's got to be a situation like, if there's a better shot for him to start at a place that's going to win, and Georgia Tech has definitely been one of those ones, right? I think, I understand why he might go a different route. My confidence isn't as high as I would want it to be here. I'm just going to be honest. it's 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Like, I really think it's 50-50 with him. I think I think he's loved the trip at West Virginia so far. But certainly there's a lot to kind of worry about with it. So just wanted to say that. I'm going to give it 5 out of 10. So we'll see what happens if he commits. That will be incredibly awesome because I think he's the best tackle in the portal, and he's here. So blow him up at William Reed on X. We have breaking news again on Locked On West Virginia while I'm live. A defensive end out of Wyoming, I believe it is. Is that the one? Let me make sure this is the one. Let's see here. Yep, defensive end. So Braden Siders, 92 tackles, 13 and a half sacks, 24 tackles for loss, and was a freshman All-American for the Wyoming Cowboys, baby. Is coming to West Virginia. I can't believe this realization just hit me, who I was talking about. Hopefully your ears aren't busted. I should do a whole show on this. This is a big one, man. This is a big one, guys. A true blue pass rusher. I'm going to say this might mean we're out on Fink, but it's not 100% for sure certain. Holy cow, guys. Holy cow. This is a big one, man. This is a big one. So here's the picture I have of him. Sorry, it's on my phone that sent to me. He says, "Take me home." Look, I don't have everything in front of me about him yet, but this is a big pickup. So let's see what I can find as we roll through here live. Let's see. Braden Siders. This is one of those ones I was telling you about that I couldn't talk about yet. And then boom, it happens while I'm live. That's just how the world works, isn't it? Okay, let's look at some ESPN stats because all I've really watched of him is film because he screams off the edge. He is an absolute beast. Looks like 2024 was cut short, which I did not know. Let's see. All right. I have to wait until some more info comes out on this. But because I'm not getting the last 2 times I've looked at ESPN, the numbers just haven't been there. Same thing happened with a commitment from earlier. But yeah, so it must be good luck for me to go live during a show or anymore. Every time I go live, somebody commits. That brings the transfer commitment tracker up to 24 guys. Holy cow, man. Jeez. This guy screams off the edge. I'll show you. I got some film here that I had been studying that's right here readily available to me that I had been looking at in anticipation for this. Because when you looked at some of his other offers, I don't know if he had another one that was quite as good as West Virginia's. Certainly very good. Don't get me wrong. But this guy, man, is another talented guy. So here we go again. Another commitment. Nuclear. That's right. So look, there's a lot to digest. I can't do another live tonight. It's just too many videos consecutively. The algorithm, what will happen is the videos that I've already done will just get flushed, basically. The algorithm will push you guys towards these newer videos. So it'll be like I didn't even put that work in. So unfortunately, the one drawback from YouTube is I can't go live over and over and over again, or else it'll kill the ones that I had before. And I'll be honest, it's 9 o'clock. I'm kind of tired. I've been at this all day. I would love to go live for the 5th time today and be here for you guys. I really do work hard. I work harder than any other West Virginia content creator. I feel like I mean, and you can ask the guys that work with me, like, I'm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is what I think about. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn as much as to just tell you, like, if you just hit that subscribe button, I'm telling you, I will work my ass off to make you guys proud and to show you that, I put the work in. I'm here because I put the work in. Did almost 500,000 views last month. That's a lot for just covering one small state team like West Virginia. The guy for Locked On that covers the entire conference, he only did 1 million. I mean, he did 1 million. It's a lot. But I'm saying we're not far off from that, just covering West Virginia. That's how elite our fans are. So, look, here we go. I'm excited about this. I'll probably just do an update on this one tomorrow. It'll give me some content tomorrow to actually just do a feature video on this guy like it deserves. And that way that way I can give him a proper breakdown, because I've only watched a little bit of tape, maybe like 20 minutes. It's just not enough. I usually need at least an hour to watch every little thing, because I watch two full games usually. If I have time, I don't ever just like to do highlights, because I feel like that waters it down. You only see the good and not the bad. So I like to see the whole thing. But hit the subscribe button, like the video, keep coming back. I'll be back tomorrow for sure. I'm here 7 days a week. I'll be doing a post game after the West Virginia Colorado game. So if you watch the basketball game tomorrow, I'll be there. Can't wait to see you. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen, for being part of the Locked On Bit Podcast Network, where we talk about your team every single day, the Mountaineers. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. This episode's over, and I'm out of here. Good night, y'all.